Hey there, this is Marissa with Marissa Moments Podcast, Healing While I Heal, where I share my real life stories and their healing translations. So let's just get straight into it. So 5 years ago today, my twin daughters were born. Blessed day indeed. Now, of course, this is pre-recorded, so I'm referring to January 9th, right? But anyway, the day also coincides with the day that I nearly died. I've mentioned it before, and I will mention it again. I hemorrhaged 8 liters of blood, had to have a couple of blood transfusions, emergency surgery, hospitalized for over a week, and just you name it, right? Now, I kind of brushed through that story as an illustration of the healing translation, because every time I find myself mentioning that story again, I kind of feel like that scene from Coraline, and if you haven't watched that movie, it's super cute. Go watch it. And where she's like, I almost fell down a well today. I almost died. I could have died. Now, of course, I paraphrase because I can never remember exact quotes, but I always feel like I'm being just so extra behind telling the story, right? And the thing of it is, and what Spirit keeps reminding me is that it's not extra. It's my truth. Like, I literally almost died. Like, the doctor told me that someone else was in the exact same situation and circumstance, and they actually did pass. Now, of course, that fed into my PTSD and all of those things, but I am so happy and relieved to say that today I can tell and share the story without feeling triggered. Am I brought back to that moment in time? Yes, but I don't feel like I'm actually there again. I don't question why I'm here. I don't have that anxiety and that depression, which is a true blessing because not many people can go through an experience such as that and come out on the other side with feeling as healed as I do in this moment, right? But the thing of it is, and that's not the translation part, the translation is about how I feel about sharing that story with others. Now, I've been programmed to feel like it's a burden to share my burdens, essentially. My truth, my struggles, my reality make me feel uncomfortable in sharing with others because I have shared in the past and I've gotten that kind of like, okay, almost like that music that plays when somebody's giving their thank you speech too long in an award ceremony. Well, that's what I feel when I'm sharing my truth, my story, right? My trauma. So Spirit is like, well, one, I've been sharing that story with the wrong folks, right? Because again, that is my truth, and it's not something that I exaggerate. It's not something that I blow out of proportion. If anything, I'm kind of giving the summarized version, that Cliff Notes version, because I don't want to lose my audience, essentially. But the meat and potatoes is, why do I have to feel burdened behind telling my truth? Why do you have to feel burdened behind telling your truth? Why do you have to feel like you're being extra? Why do we have to feel like we're putting on a show or an act or a farce when we're actually just sharing our trauma and our tragedy? Now, it's not to say that we are trying to bring someone back into that hell loop, but sometimes when we're sharing our truth, it is cleansing to be able to share it completely, right? Without having to kind of time ourselves or bring the highs and the lows in because we're just kind of reading somebody else's face, right? But the bottom line to this bottom line is share your truth. Share your truth unapologetically. Like, don't, make it your tagline to where it becomes your identity, right? Because that's a difference. If you're sharing your truth because you want to either, one, cleanse that palate, and work on your healing so that way you can process through it, that is one thing. That is the air quotes healthy version of sharing your truth. Or if you're leading by example to tell someone else that, yes, I too have experienced this and I was able to get to the other side as a means of offering hope and just hope, to someone else, then again, that is a healing version of sharing your truth. Those scenarios should not require you to give a summation, especially dependent on the person you're sharing it with. Now, if you are instead using those stories as your new identity, then that's when healing needs to come into play. When you share your trauma, share it to process. Don't share it to relive it. Don't share it because that's who you have become. Share it to process and heal. But that's it, because I could go on, but I'm not gonna. I got other things to do. So that's it. If this message resonates, then that means it is for you. And if not, that's cool too. Just keep it pushing. Either way, I thank you for listening, and I wish you the very, very best day ever. Until next time, you know the vibes. Peace. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to check me out on all of social media. I'm basically everywhere you probably shouldn't be. But when you look me up, remember it's Marissa Moments, and that's Marissa with one S because there is only one me. So until next time, happy healing.